Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new video over on the channel by the name of LeaIsChill. Today I wanted to go ahead and show off some content over on this quite elaborate and honestly really pretty Tower of God game, and then also talk about the fact that they're now using mobile games for Tower of God to give us supplementary material for the main manga. And if you don't know exactly what that means, we're going to go ahead and get right into it. There's some really interesting Easter eggs inside this. So if you have not seen Tower of God, I think this one's called Great Journey, and there's a future one coming up soon called New Journey, which is by Netmarble. And so there's going to be two different versions of Tower of God games around. This one is Tower of God Great Journey, and is created by the same devs that do Hero Cantare. Now what that means is this game has some of the coolest art that you will see around, and honestly, I like it a lot. I plan on at some point hopefully trying to fully mine out every one of these arts and actually get it uploaded somewhere, because there's not a lot of mobile games that actually use like 2D sprites and turn them into live 2D without it just being very basic models like idle games, just having like them in school uniforms, for example. In this game, it is very much built different. So we have every character inside Tower of God up to the middle of like season 2 pretty much. And so you'll see a lot of characters inside here, including White, with his incredible second art, which is just rad. And I think that this game is really cool because it's the Hero Cantare devs that were already creating these live 2D units, being able to adapt a specific series. And so far, I've honestly been pretty blown away by the arts they've created for this game so far. Unfortunately, this game is like 95% idle. And so a lot of the time you're hitting boss auto challenge in the top left and then just watching them do the levels for you. The most cracked out character in the game right now is Enryu, but that was quickly replaced as of the release of the new LR as well. So we got our first release of a family head in Po Bidao Gustang, which if you currently read the manhwa of Tower of God, he is certainly popping off. He is doing Liddy things, and it's so cool to see the actual like tower heads slash family heads getting into actual combat with one another as well. He's an LR, but he's an LR you're able to choose what typing to give him once you actually go in for it. And so basically he's called Ancient Species, and you can spec him into each individual ability. I wanted to go ahead and take a look at his skills here. He do be shooting. Now, he has like this outfit that reminds me a lot of Heisei. Actually interesting. They reuse the art from the original unit to be able to use its EX skill. I wonder why. This game typically does a pretty good job of using many different arts. They even make a second art for every character in this ignition weapon ability right here. So you can see he has another animation right there. He seems like he's mostly just a nuker, but you know how it goes. Inside a game like this, they drop the first LR, and of course it immediately is just the most relevant thing in the goddamn world. But here, what I wanted to do today, here we're gonna claim all of these. What I would really like to do is we're gonna do one showcase on the characters I currently have. I wonder if this will take long, because I basically just wanted to show off what the actual gameplay is like. Like you saw it right there on the rice pot, but that style of gameplay leaks over into every other style as well. And so it's mostly the type of game you'll leave on in the background or leave on your phone while you're working and selling bedding for a living, because that's what I was doing. And so you can basically play this as like a majorly side game where you're just kind of hopping onto it and grinding every so often. But because of that, they needed to try to create value in this game by creating intrigue in not only the releases, but also in the marketing for the game. So they've been doing some weird shit. They did a recent like countdown of a dozen different puzzles. But the main thing I wanted to show off to you guys today, I'm just going to cut over here. Okay, so what we're looking at here is the new trailer uploaded to the Twitter for Tower of God Great Journey. And honestly, I was not ready to log into the game and see this, because this is a key visual of which we haven't even seen in the Webtoon at this point. And so everything we see inside here is details we do not know. Hey guys, is that not literally Rack? Like the main character Rack? Like the goofball who becomes a tiny little guy, who becomes like the main source of comedy throughout the series after season 1. Is that not him in a much, much larger version? Also, I just want to point out, you can see V over directly on the right side and Jahad directly with his big needle. This key visual right here is more about what the tower was like before everything went down than we've known so far. And that's crazy. So you can even see here, so Jahad drives the needle into this guy's chest, but he literally looks like Rock. You can also see here, we see Kuna Edwan, we see Gustang. I don't quite remember. I want to say like this is just some sort of person related to Yuri Ha, but I don't actually have any details. Can't even think of who it is. This looks like Ghost, which is kind of weird because Ghost should not be here. Then of course, Arlene and V behind there. I'll tell you what happened one day that everyone's been turning away, being caught in happy, rich, and secure feelings. King of the Tower and my friends, the split has begun. Right down the middle of the family heads. But legit, this right here and this key visual, the moment I logged into the game, caught my attention in such a cool way. I wonder if this is going to be considered as something canon, and if it was the case that it was, then that means that Rock and the ancient species will all be related in some kind of big way, which we already knew with him using rocks, but this is just even more of a confirmation. I'm glad they released this. This is honestly a really cool little feature. It's also really cool that Ghost is still with Arlene and V, because if you guys remember from season 1, okay, so I've been calling this guy Ghost since the anime came out, but it looks like his name is actually Akryun, which is basically Ghost. You can see him right here, which is another hint toward the fact that Rachel got Ghost / Akryun off of Arlene handing it down to her. So I think that's really cool. And this is just another one of those like extra bits of world building that's really, really impressive. And so let's go ahead and get back to the game. But yeah, I don't really have a lot of stuff I want to make content on this game. I mostly just wanted to come over here and talk about the new game by the developers of Hero Cantare and let you guys know about this. I do have an account here, you can see, and I'm just letting this grind in the background a lot of my days, and so it's just exactly what it is. The gameplay never changes from what you're seeing here unless you pull new units, and so I don't see it being very good for content in general. I just like Tower of God a lot, and so I wanted to show you guys this. There will be another Tower of God game releasing within the next 2 months or so by Netmarble, the same people who make Seven Deadly Sins Grand Cross, which, by the way, not the most reliable people in the world, but we'll trust it. And we'll see how it goes. Honestly, this will be like my idle style of game to toss on the side, and then we'll see if I want to, in the future, play like some sort of RPG or whatever it ends up being in the other game as well. For now, thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you guys are into Tower of God at all. I think that this is just a really good gacha in general, and a lot of games on the App Store right now are transitioning from actively played games to idle games, and so this game dropped right at the moment where that transition was happening, and I feel like it slotted itself in a really, really good position because it's an official franchise with an idle game and has really high quality art and models, as well as additional content from the Webtoon you wouldn't be able to see unless you played this game. That is exactly how live service games should be adapting their new content, and honestly, pretty good job in general. For now, thank you for watching, take it easy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!